Thank you. Glad to be back. So, 2-hour difference is tough on the, obviously, on the hair and everything else that I had problems with on vacation. So, as you can see, sunscreen doesn't always work either. Alright, sales as of today are $2,248,996. We have 3 days left and 13% of the month remaining, okay? A couple things we need that are hot right now. Can we make sure that we get somebody can pull Colgan 41 parts for big gates out of rework? We need to get those shipped. So if we can get those pulled out of rework, get those done. SYS 107, if we can get that running as soon as possible tomorrow, we got to go to RPS 1 and 57. Okay, that's hot. And then 40, press 40 is ready to go. We want to put SYS 158 in there and just leave it in there to run there. Okay.
Right, just so you know, that's that mold that you wanted to know when was going to run, so we're going to put it in there. Okay. Jimmy, things that we got going on the big side, we need to make sure that press 1 gets to clock 11. We need clock 11 and 10 done in that press. Press 2. Pat, did Phil 25 come back? When are we going to get it back?
We're still waiting on thermocouples.
We still haven't got the thermocouples yet? All right. All right, I'll have to look at press 2 then, Jimmy. 26, we need to get that fixed and running. I know Rich is going to get the parts ordered for that. 36, did the gear come back? Frank for 30s for clock 2? Haven't seen it. Jimmy, when we get the gear, we'll pull that out so we can get the 2 cavities. 32, we need to fix the chiller, get it running. 13 needs check counts, go to Bosch 142. And 11 check counts, go to RS 19. Did they get the robot moved yet or not? Did you get the robot moved on 19? Alright. Okay, that's what I've got.
Marty? I'm sorry. Alright, so we got a visitor coming in at 2 o'clock today, so we want to make sure everything's straightened up. Marty's going to do pictures today, so thank you, Marty. I think you got it on now. Not yet. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is the first picture. It's a ladder over by 67 near the loader. Cleaning room was left with debris all over the place. WD-40 and a pair of pliers on 77. This is a box of disintegrator parts that have not that there isn't a label on the box. And this was a hot runner box that's down behind press 34, in between the middle of them. We're not using it, we're going to get put away. This is a ladder and the tube for the large plastic Gaylord bags that we changed it out and left the tube there. The chain hoist, the chains on top of the mold, they can get put back. And an oil leak on 6. And Gaylord bags that are laying on top of the molds over by press 26.
I think someone's trying to cover up those molds from getting all the...
Oh, that's what you're doing. Okay.
I think that's for a reason we might need to come up with something a little better, but... Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, obviously, there's a lot of those have to do with not leaving it better for the next person, so we've got to keep working on that, okay? Suggestions we have to come up with a way to organize the water and hydraulic hoses. So we got to talk about that, back here. I know it's an issue, so it's something that we got to work on organizing. Also, last week we had an issue, a customer concerned about Geo14 parts. If you look on the picture, you get a better idea that the pin heights are different, so we got to be watching for those different pin heights. They're getting about 3 a day.
3 to 4 a day.
Yeah, 3 to 4 a day. So don't forget it's a $2 part resale, but it's a $25 part by the time they put everything together. So that's costing them a lot of money when it comes down to it. So they want to know how we're going to inspect for that. So we got to figure out why we're ending up with some pins at different heights. customer coming in. Obviously, we got someone visiting this afternoon. We got Bill Train coming in on Thursday around 10 o'clock in the morning. And then also Watlow is going to be here tomorrow at, I believe it's 2 o'clock. So I'll double check the time, but they're going to be here at 2 o'clock. So we got to make sure everything's organized, press 60 and everything, okay? They're going to be here to talk about that. All right? Take that. All right, so they're talking about the waste ball and the bankers and everything. The third example is perhaps the funniest of all. One of the other countries had a Swami sitting down in a white robe with a sheet around his head. They called him the lean guru. A girl was ringing a bell and saying, "Come ask the lean guru all your lean questions." And, of course, a beautiful young girl was sitting on his lap. People would come up and ask the Swami, "How do I apply lean in this situation?" All I can say is that these people know how to have fun, and I enjoyed both the visualization and the humor in making lean relevant and fun. The bank understands that lean is not just something you do. Lean is a strategy built around a strong culture of lean thinking that can effectively let value flow to the customer. When it came time for me to speak, one of the points I made was that lean is not about being organized, because I was organized prior to becoming a lean thinker. I had a beautiful facility that was buttoned down and was a quintessential example of what an organized facility should look like. I didn't understand the 8 wastes, and my factory was a great example of overproduction, and still is in varying degrees. I had effectively organized waste. When I asked the group if there was anything I said that was maybe a little shocking or interesting, Petra raised her hand and said, "Yes, the whole thing about being organized, and that it's not really lean." I replied, "You organize waste." I replied, "You can organize waste." And then I looked at the slide I had just shown of my shelves filled with inventory. Perfectly polished, shined, and predictable. Well labeled and good visual controls. All the elements of lean, but unfortunately the inventory was waste. It was an example of overproduction, and overproduction is where all the waste begins. I efficiently organized waste. We talked about make sure when we're organized and we're 3S and at least getting rid of the stuff we don't need, and then we work on the organizing of what's left over, right? So there's some of the things we need to look at. There's a video on like one-piece flow we're going to start talking about, give some examples.